where shadows dance in the fading light. A melody of hope takes flight, guiding us through the darkest light. These beats are beacon in the night, guiding us to the morning light. It's embrace, we find our mind in the journey to a hush of dawn's embrace.
Welcome to your deep dive.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Today we're diving into emotional intelligence, the key to personal and professional growth.
Okay.
And this book, it claims to give us like these practical tools to handle emotions.
Right.
You know, in every part of life.
Yeah.
Are you ready to unlock
Yeah.
your EQ potential?
I am. Absolutely.
Love that.
I think what's so compelling about this book is that it really emphasizes practicality.
Okay.
It doesn't just give you definitions.
Right.
It actually gives you actionable strategies.
Uh-huh.
And it acknowledges that emotions are crucial in both our personal and professional lives.
I think that's what really drew me to it too.
Yeah.
Like the introduction, I was hooked by this idea of like balancing emotions and thoughts.
Right.
Haven't we all wished for that at some point?
Oh, yeah. For sure.
But it's not just about like, you know, feeling good.
Right.
It's, the book argues that emotional intelligence actually leads to like making better decisions.
Better decisions, yeah.
Having stronger relationships.
Yes.
And even like figuring out how other people's emotions work, you
That's
know?
right, yeah. It kind of lays out 5 core components of EQ, you know?
Okay.
Self-awareness, self-regulation,
Yeah.
motivation, empathy,
Okay.
and social skills.
Okay.
So it's almost like, think of these as tools in your EQ toolbox, right?
Yeah.
And they each have a specific purpose,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
for navigating this complex world of emotions.
And I think motivation really piqued my interest because we're all striving towards goals, right?
Absolutely.
And the book suggests that by like tapping into our emotions,
Yeah.
we can actually kind of fuel our drives.
Yeah.
Have you like ever noticed how some emotions kind of push you forward and some hold you back?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like there's times when I feel anxious and that anxiety,
Right.
if I kind of
Yeah.
harness it in the right way, can push me to like get things done.
Yeah.
But there are other times when it's totally debilitating.
Totally.
Yeah, I think that's a great observation. And it ties in really well with
Yeah.
how the book explores emotions themselves. It delves into like the history of emotion research,
Right.
and it starts with Paul Ekman's 6 basic emotions.
Okay.
So you have, you know, anger,
Yeah.
fear, disgust, surprise,
Yeah.
sadness, and happiness.
Yeah.
And the fascinating thing about these emotions is they're universally experienced,
Oh, wow.
you know,
That's amazing.
regardless of your culture, your background.
Wow.
And then it goes on to introduce Robert Plutchik's
Oh, wait.
Wheel of Emotions,
Okay.
which kind of takes us a
Amazing.
step further, almost like an artist's color palette.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he proposes 8 primary emotions.
Okay.
You have joy versus sadness, anger versus fear,
Okay.
trust versus disgust,
Interesting.
and surprise versus anticipation. And just like primary colors
Okay.
can be combined to create a whole spectrum of shades.
Yeah.
You can blend these emotions
Yeah.
to form like a whole array of complex feelings.
So the book, it actually uses this example of combining happiness and anticipation
Right.
to create excitement.
To create excitement, yeah.
And it kind of got me thinking, like,
Yeah.
what emotions are like constantly mixing in my own life?
Right.
Like, what creates my
They-
own kind of emotional blend, you know?
Then your own personal, your own personal
Yeah.
color palette of emotions, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of this book is it encourages that kind of self-reflection.
Yeah.
And to tap into that self-awareness,
Mhm.
it emphasizes mindfulness practices like journaling or meditation.
So it's almost like you're taking stock of your internal landscape.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like taking inventory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if you took it a step further with journaling
Yeah.
and you explored not just what you felt,
Right.
but where that emotion came from?
Yeah.
Like, let's say you're feeling frustrated at work.
Yeah.
Is it actually about the project
Right.
or is it something deeper?
Yeah. That's a fantastic point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about kind of peeling back the layers
Yeah.
and understanding the root. And the book dives deep into that process.
Okay.
It dedicates like whole chapters to, you know, evaluating emotions and understanding their sources.
Yeah.
And it offers just like a wealth of strategies.
Wow.
You know, it's almost like a personal EQ workbook.
I was a little overwhelmed by like all the strategies.
Right.
Creating an emotion vocabulary list, identifying your triggers, using the emotion wheel. It's a lot.
Yeah.
I guess the key is to just find what works for you.
Absolutely.
And like build your own EQ toolkit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's about finding what resonates with you and incorporating it into your life.
Yeah.
And the book, it gives you specific exercises to help you do that.
Okay.
Like, for example, that emotion vocabulary list. It really encourages you to like expand your emotional language beyond just happy or sad.
Right, right.
It's about recognizing like the nuances of your feelings.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then there's like the emotion wheel,
Yeah, the emotion wheel.
which I love how it visually represents the different emotions and like their intensities.
Yeah.
Like having a map
Yes.
of your emotional landscape.
Exactly.
One thing that really stuck with me was how it emphasized like
Yeah.
how much our surroundings impact our emotions.
Yes.
Right.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Our environment plays like a huge role.
Yeah.
The book specifically highlights the workplace. You know, it can fuel anxiety
Yeah.
or it can contribute to job satisfaction.
Yeah.
Are you surrounded by like clutter and noise?
Right.
Or do you have a space that kind of inspires you?
Yeah. That's a good point.
You know, it all matters.
It makes you think about like
Yeah.
how much control we actually have
Right.
over our own
Yeah.
like emotional well-being.
Yeah.
Right.
It's empowering when you think about it that way.
And then there's this whole idea of breaking free from like those automatic reactions.
Right.
What the book calls the habit loop.
The habit loop. Yeah.
Sometimes all it takes is like a pause before you react to like
Yeah.
change the entire course of an interaction.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
The power of the pause.
Yeah. But it's not just about
Yeah.
like stopping in your tracks.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
about what comes after that pause.
That's right. Yeah. The book encourages us to like brainstorm different responses, you know, challenge ourselves to move beyond our usual patterns.
We've all been there, right?
Oh, for sure.
Like you say something,
Yeah.
you're like, ugh, I wish I could take that back.
Totally.
But imagine like
Yeah.
pausing, taking a breath, and then consciously choosing
Yeah.
a different response.
Right.
That could totally transform our interactions.
Absolutely. The book gives us a range of strategies to help us do that.
Okay.
It suggests like seeking diverse viewpoints, imagining what a mentor would advise,
Yeah.
even visualizing the potential outcome
Okay.
of each choice.
Oh, visualizing outcomes.
Yeah.
That's where it gets interesting.
It is.
The book even goes so far as to analyze like
Yeah.
the do nothing option.
Yeah,
Who knew inaction could be strategic?
that's right. Yeah.
It's all about making conscious decisions.
You're right.
Even when it comes to like
Yeah.
our emotional responses.
Totally. And that ties into, you know, what the book really focuses on, which is
Yeah.
cultivating what's called a growth mindset,
All right.
which is like the belief that our abilities, our intelligence can be developed. It's not about where we are now. It's about our potential to like grow and learn.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
That's a great kind of summary of this first part.
Yeah.
Should we take a break and come back?
Yeah, let's take a break and come back.
And talk about some more.
Sounds good. So it's about embracing those challenges, right? As opportunities to like grow instead of roadblocks.
Right.
And instead of saying, you know, I can't do this, the book says, add yet. I can't do this yet.
Love that.
Just a subtle shift,
Yeah.
but it can have a big impact.
It makes me think of the chapter on happiness.
Yeah.
I'll admit, a little skeptical at first.
Yep.
But it's not just fluffy affirmations.
No.
It actually gives like concrete steps you can take
Right.
to cultivate happiness.
Yeah.
What really stuck with me was the emphasis on self-acceptance,
Yeah.
like self-love.
Just love. Yeah.
There's a whole chapter dedicated to like forgiving yourself,
Yeah.
letting go of those past mistakes,
Yeah.
embracing who you are.
Yeah.
It's a powerful message, and it ties back to like
100%.
that emotional regulation.
Yeah. It's all connected.
It's amazing like how everything's so interconnected.
It is.
So we talked about self-awareness,
Right.
motivation,
Yeah.
happiness.
Right.
Now let's dive into empathy.
Okay.
The book's definition, it really struck a chord. Understanding and sharing other people's feelings.
Yeah.
What I found fascinating is that it goes like even deeper. explores different types of empathy.
Different types, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not just about
Yeah.
recognizing someone else's emotions. It's about engaging with them on different levels.
Okay.
The book talks about cognitive empathy, which is understanding their perspective.
Okay.
Emotional empathy, which is feeling their emotions as if they were your own.
Right.
And even somatic empathy.
Somatic empathy.
Yeah.
What is that?
So somatic empathy is when we physically experience the emotions of others.
Oh.
Have you ever winced when you saw someone get hurt?
Yeah.
Or felt a tightness in your chest when you witnessed someone's sadness? That's somatic empathy in action.
Wow.
It's like we're mirroring their physical sensations,
Yeah.
even though we're not experiencing that situation directly.
That's fascinating.
It's really interesting. And the book suggests that, you know, we can build all these different types of empathy through things like active listening and mindful interactions.
It seems like mindfulness is like
It
it's
is.
a recurring theme.
It's a foundation.
Yeah, it's the foundation.
Yep.
And speaking of those mindful interactions, it makes me think of effective communication.
Right.
There's like a whole section on
The
that.
book has a whole section on that.
It defines it as conveying your message clearly,
Right.
actively listening to the other person,
Yeah.
and responding in a way that builds understanding and connection.
Absolutely.
And it stresses those nonverbal cues too.
Yes.
How much our body language
Yes.
impacts a conversation.
It can make or break a
It
conversation.
makes you wonder, like, how often are we sending mixed signals
Right. We might not even be aware of it.
without even realizing it?
Totally.
And it gives specific strategies,
Right.
like using I statements,
Yes.
expressing your feelings,
Yes.
respecting those moments of silence, even choosing the right time and place
Yeah.
to have like a difficult conversation.
That's really important. It's about being intentional
Yeah.
and considerate in our communication.
It's like that saying, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Right.
Exactly. Exactly.
And it makes me think of those times where like I blurt something out
Yeah.
and I'm like, ugh, I wish I had a redo button.
Totally.
But the book's advice on incorporating feedback, it really stuck with me.
Yeah.
It's about seeing those moments as opportunities to learn
Absolutely.
instead of dwelling on the mistake.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. It's that growth mindset.
Yeah,
Even in our communication.
exactly. And speaking of growth and learning,
Yeah.
the book delves into this connection
Yes.
between emotional intelligence
Yeah.
and effective leadership.
Right.
That's something I'm like particularly interested in.
Yeah.
What are some key insights the book gives on that?
Well, it makes it clear that emotional intelligence isn't just about being in charge. It's about leading with empathy and understanding.
Okay.
And it emphasizes self-awareness for leaders,
Right.
like understanding your own strength, weaknesses, how your emotions impact the team.
Right.
It also stresses regulating your emotions,
Right.
especially in challenging situations.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
It sounds like it's advocating for like a more human-centered approach.
it is.
Not just tasks and outcomes, but the people.
Absolutely. The people. It highlights, you know, the importance of understanding your team's dynamic.
Okay.
Recognizing those individual emotions and needs.
Yeah.
Creating an environment where people feel heard.
That's a powerful concept.
It is.
So we've explored self-awareness, motivation, happiness, empathy,
Right.
communication, leadership.
Right.
It all goes back to emotional intelligence.
It does.
But the book doesn't just like drop this knowledge and say, good luck.
No, it doesn't.
There's more to it.
It really emphasizes that maintaining emotional intelligence is an ongoing effort, not a one-time fix.
So it's not about reaching like emotional enlightenment and then you're good.
It's a journey,
It's a journey.
not a destination.
Yeah.
It gives strategies for staying committed to your emotional growth.
Okay.
Like daily reflection, mindfulness practices,
Yeah.
actively seeking feedback.
Okay.
It encourages you to view personal growth as a lifelong pursuit,
Yeah.
constantly learning, adapting.
This has been an incredible deep dive.
It has.
We've covered so much.
They have.
For someone who wants to start applying this right away, what would you say are the most practical takeaways?
Well, let's see. Well, there's a lot of good advice.
Yeah.
But one of the most important takeaways is to develop self-awareness.
Okay.
It encourages us to, be attuned to our emotions, understand what triggers them,
Right.
and then recognize how they influence our behavior. And that could include, keeping an emotion journal, using techniques like that emotion wheel
Right.
to really get a handle on things.
It's like shining a light on those internal processes that drive our actions, sometimes without us even realizing it.
Absolutely.
I love how the book really emphasizes mindfulness as a tool for developing that self-awareness. Like whether it's meditation, journaling, or just paying attention to the present moment.
That's right.
It helps us tap into those emotions.
It does.
Understand their impact.
Absolutely. And once you have that self-awareness, the book kind of gives you this framework for action.
Okay.
Brainstorming different responses, evaluating your options, and choosing the best way to move forward.
Yeah.
It encourages you to pause before you react.
Right.
Visualize outcomes.
Yeah.
Seek out different perspectives.
So it's about shifting from reactive to responsive.
Exactly.
Instead of our emotions controlling us,
right,
we're taking control.
That's right. Yeah.
Making those conscious choices.
And that goes back to the growth mindset too.
Yeah.
Believing that we can develop and improve.
It's empowering.
It is.
And let's not forget about empathy.
Empathy, yeah.
The book's definition, understanding and sharing other people's feelings, it really resonated.
Yeah.
But it also highlighted these different types of empathy.
Different types, yeah.
It's more complex than we might realize.
Yeah. You've got cognitive empathy,
right,
emotional empathy, even somatic empathy.
Yeah.
It's about understanding how other people think and feel,
right,
and even experiencing their emotions physically.
Wow.
And it emphasizes building that empathy through, active listening, mindful interaction.
It's about really connecting on a deeper level.
Absolutely.
And of course, effective communication is huge.
It is.
The book stresses, clarity, active listening, appropriate responses.
Right.
Reminding us that body language can really make or break a conversation.
It can.
It gives us those specific strategies using I statements, respecting silence, choosing the right time and place.
That's right.
It's about communicating with intention and empathy.
With intention,
And always learning and improving.
Yeah.
That advice to incorporate feedback really resonated with me.
Yeah.
Those oops moments become opportunities for growth.
Exactly. It's continuous improvement.
Yeah. And this ties back into that chapter on leadership.
Yeah.
Where it makes clear EQ is essential for effective leadership.
It is.
It's not just about being in charge.
Yeah.
It's about self-awareness, emotion regulation, understanding your team.
Understanding your team,
It paints this picture of a leader who motivates and inspires.
Yeah.
By understanding people's emotions and needs.
By understanding people. That's right.
And it emphasizes that maintaining EQ, it's not a one-time fix.
Well,
it's an ongoing effort.
It is.
It's about integrating daily reflection, mindfulness, feedback into your routine.
That's right.
Wow, this has been an incredible deep dive.
It has.
So if someone listening wanted to apply just one thing from this book this week, what would you recommend?
I think I would recommend The Power of the Pause.
Okay.
Before you react to a stressful situation, take a moment to breathe, collect your thoughts.
Yeah.
It can change the course of a conversation, a decision, even your whole day.
That's such a powerful takeaway.
It is.
So, big picture.
Yeah.
This book isn't just about being nice.
No.
It's a skill set.
It is.
It's about understanding. And harnessing the power of emotions.
Right.
To achieve success in all areas of life.
Absolutely. And recognizing that emotions aren't the enemy.
Right.
They're a source of information, a source of motivation.
So for anyone listening,
imagine
how different your week could be.
Yeah.
If you just applied one of these EQ strategies.
Okay.
The power to unlock your potential is in your hands.
It is. It's been a fascinating dive.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into emotional intelligence.
Absolutely.
We'll catch you next time.
Okay.
For another fascinating exploration.
Sounds good.
Until then, keep learning.
Yeah.
Keep growing.
Keep growing.
And keep unlocking your potential.
Yeah.
In the stillness of the night, where shadows dance in the fading light, a melody for takes flight, guiding us through the darkest light. Peace, a beacon in the night, guiding us to the morning light. In its embrace we find our might, in the journey towards what's right, in the echo of a silent plea, where hearts yearn to be free. A whisper floats upon the breeze, uniting souls with gentle ease. Outdo the clamor, silence the roar, let peace's song echo forevermore. In every heart let it soar, a symphony of love, love forevermore. Peace, a beacon in the night, guiding us to the morning light. In its embrace we find our might, in the journey towards what's right. In the hush of dawn's embrace, let peace's light illuminate every face. For in its presence we find grace, and in its beauty we find our place. In the stillness of the night, where shadows dance in the fading light, a melody of hope takes flight, guiding us through the darkest light. Peace, peace, a beacon in the night, guiding us to the morning light. Its embrace we find our might, in the journey to the hush of dawn's embrace. Let peace's light illuminate face. For in its presence we find grace, and in its beauty we find our place. In the stillness of the night, guiding us to the morning light. In its embrace we find our might, in the journey towards what's right. In the hush of dawn's embrace, peace's light illuminate every face. For in its presence we find grace, and in its beauty we find our place. In the stillness of the night, where shadows dance in the fading rays, and in its beauty we find